Hey, if you've ever commented on one of my videos, there's probably a 100% chance that I've replied to it, liked it, or hearted it. Don't believe me? Go check any video or post I've made. I have interacted with them all. Over 1,300 videos, over 30,000 comments, over 4 years of content. I responded to all the wonderful people who took time out of their day to interact with the stuff I made. Is there a reason to do all this though? There is, and I'll get to it, but you need to know how I got here in the first place. So, I'm sure by now you've noticed that I have entirely changed the content on my channel for the most part, and unfortunately, the new videos aren't doing as well as I kind of need them to be. So, my channel's been on a downwards trajectory for a couple years now, and it makes sense with Super Auto Pets just not being popular anymore, and I've been trying to expand my content outside of SAP with other auto battler games or roguelikes, and they would do okay while those games were trending. And I could have continued doing what I was doing, but I was kind of unhappy with making so much slop content that I was just pumping out for money. And it's not to say that that content was horrible or anything, but it just wasn't the best I could do, and it certainly wasn't going to help my channel grow. So even though YouTube is a big part of how I make money, I decided to take a risk. Just completely stop making SAP content and go all in on every other thing that interests me and hope to God that something sticks. Thankfully, I've got several more months in the piggy bank before I'll have to start thinking about different money-making alternatives, and then I'd probably just make YouTube videos when I'm free, but I'm gonna keep going until I can't. Right now, I'm nearly 2 months into the transition, and something became apparent very quickly. Since I stopped making, 4 to 6 videos a week, I'm not making nearly enough money to make this sustainable. And I put 10 to 20, maybe even 30 times the effort into my new videos, only for them to perform worse than my worst performing SAP videos. And I can't even begin to explain to you how discouraging this is, but the only thing I can really do is keep consistently making high quality videos, and maybe something will eventually take off. And you might say, well, Sag, the first couple of videos, when you came back did really well. And about those, there's something called YouTube advertising. Since I wanted my return to do, fairly well, I paid a little bit of money for YouTube ads to try and reach out to a wider audience to hopefully start building a new rapport with maybe new people. But how can I expect for people to interact with my content if I don't interact with my community? Huge yap session, am I right? So the deeper reason as to why I interacted with every comment on all my videos, it was one of the last ways I could think of to reach people who already took the time out of their day to comment on one of my videos, and maybe it would remind them of why they commented in the first place, and maybe give me another chance on some of my new content. Obviously, if you're still an avid watcher and commenter, then you probably got hit dozens of times, and really I should have just interacted with it years ago. You might be asking again, this was the last way? Well, then what was the first ways? Well, I made a TikTok. I've started posting videos on Twitter. I'm going through all my old videos and making shorts out of my edited SAP intros because, honestly, those memes I made were fire. I've been banned from several subreddits because they don't really allow self-promotion, and I'm trying to follow all the rules for their self-promo, but no one really tells you exactly how a rule was broken, so I just get posts removed and banned. And so you can see my options are dwindling, and I decided to get a little creative. It took me around 6 or 7 hours to interact with every comment, and it was incredibly nostalgic. It really was a blast from the past, as I started from the most recent comments and just went back in time. So many sweet, supportive comments that made me tear up, lots of critical comments on how I play the game, and a few not so nice comments that made me rethink humanity. But they were all people who had some free time and used it on me. During all this, I started to get a ton of DMs and new comments asking why I was doing all this. I just responded with more hearts. So maybe it's working, or maybe it's not. Or maybe some of these people will give my new content another chance. Or maybe it'll remind people that are still subscribed and they unsubscribe instead. Oh, by the way, if you are subscribed and don't watch my shit, just fucking unsubscribe so YouTube stops showing you my content just for you to not watch it. But then I guess you probably aren't watching this either. I feel like I need help somehow, but I don't really know the question I need to be asking. And if you already comment or like or donate or anything like that, I don't want shit from you. You are already perfect. And so that's it. I've been kind of talking about my feelings on this through my posts, but it was mostly pretty vague, and I wanted to talk a bit more personally with, anyone in the audience that listens. This video isn't really about trying to reach a wider audience. It's about trying to reach the audience I once had. If I had one regret, it'd be not taking advantage of the peak of my content creation career. Because I feel if I had, then I could have made this pivot a bit easier. But hey, there's something kind of exciting about having a fire lit under my ass again. It feels very reminiscent of when I first started my content creation journey. This time though, I have a lot more knowledge, skills, and a wonderful, dedicated audience to help me. Thanks for watching.